all is well. I am the thinker who thinks the thoughts that create the things. Today is Saturday, December 17th, 2022. It is currently 24 hours, 44 degrees, and mostly cloudy. I'm a former officer who has been diagnosed with PTSD, social anxiety, and depression. Doing these videos is very therapeutic for me, and I hope that it is a blessing to you. I started my day off today praying for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Then I read Proverbs 17 and 21, where you will find these words: He that begetteth a fool doeth it to his sorrow, and the father of a fool hath no joy. Proverbs 17 and 21. I'm so sorry, Dad. I guess I'm the reason why he has no joy. I am not a fool, but I have done some foolish things. And that's probably why he's scratching his head all the time, trying to figure out what in the world is going on. Why is this child doing this foolish thing, or saying this foolish thing, or thinking this foolish thing? The father has no joy. But my plan is to bring you joy, Dad, so you can have some joy, okay? Happy birthday, Reggie. Happy birthday to my husband. My husband is Reggee. I have two husbands, Reggee and Carlos. So happy birthday to my wonderful husband, Reggee. I hope you enjoy your day today. I hope it's a good day today. You are a great man. You are loved so well. And me and you both were in love with the same woman, Darlena, who has transitioned. She's no longer here with us physically, but she is able to be with us everywhere now. So happy birthday. I appreciate you. I love having you a part of my life. And I wish you nothing but the absolute best in every area of your life. And tell my other husband, Carlos, I said hey, and I love him also. During my meditation today, the thought that came to me was the Lord is watching me. I remember when I was growing up, I would often hear in the church, be careful, God is watching you. And it would be like a bad thing. But during my meditation today, I got that it was a good thing. Hey, the Lord is watching me. He's watching out for me. God is making sure nothing bad comes to me. When I'm at sleep, when I'm meditating, when I'm off guard, God is protecting and watching me from unseen danger every single day. You never know. I don't know what threats that might be coming towards me, physically, emotionally, mentally, but the Lord is watching me and protecting me from all of that. That's a beautiful thing. I dreamed about Darlena last night. Was just, I wouldn't say weird, but I think it's a trip that I dreamed about her last night, and Reggie's birthday is today. Darlene and Reggee were best friends. But it was a beautiful dream. I don't want to go into details of it, but it was a beautiful dream. I miss her dearly. It's not a day that goes by that I do not think about Darlena or my wife, Dimples. I think about them both, and Winter Rosemary, my daughter. Those three people I literally think about every single day. I can't help it. It's uncontrollable. It just comes in my mind. It's not even intentional. I don't know if it's subconscious, but every single day. Most of the thoughts are good, but sometimes they're not. I have videos and text messages and things that I listen to from Darlena and Dimples every now and then. Most of the time I can't listen to it, but I'm just grateful that they all allowed me to be a part of their lives. I'm grateful for my ancestors. I really am. My ancestors went through a lot just for me to be sitting here right now to doing what I'm doing. I'm actually starting to love this. I enjoy it, and I'm starting to love doing these videos. I think it's helping me a lot with my PTSD and depression. Social anxiety, not so much. I'm still way more comfortable in my home than going outside. But God is still good. I'm still reading Unprotected by Billy Porter. I'm still in chapter 10. But on this part, I read that in April of 1992, Billy Porter went on Star Search. Did you know that? I didn't know that. Not only did he go on Star Search, but he won the grand prize of $100,000. Billy D. Porter. The song is called A Song for You, and it was by Leon Russell and Donny Hathaway. A Song for You. That was the song that he sung that got him $100,000 on Star Search. I think that was beautiful. My food journal for today, I've only had an apple, a slice of peas, and water so far today. I did 3 sets of 10 reps of 10 pounds for my physical activity. So I'm grateful for that. My brother came over today. He brought me some laundry detergent. I had ran out of laundry detergent, so he brought me some laundry detergent. I talked to my mom and my sister today. What is happening today? Me and my friend Kathy texted each other today. That was good. I had a refrigerator that I used to have in my office when I was working at my former employer, and I'm gonna give that to my mom. It's not a Christmas gift. It was just something I've been trying to get to her for a while. But since we going to Columbus this weekend, I'll be able to finally give it to her. And I want to mention something else. When you get a potential mate, ask questions. Ask questions about their family history. There's this documentary out. I have not seen it yet, but I've had a friend to tell me about it. In this documentary, there are 5 generations. This man had 5 generations of men in his family who all unalived their wives. I think that is very important to know if you're interested in dating this man or any man. You find out, hey, what is your dad doing? What is your granddad doing? Or what did he do? Do you know anything about your great-granddad? Your great-great-great-granddad? I would go back 5 generations. Apparently this is a trip. 5 generations, and all of the men in their lives unalived their wives. I think that's crazy. And I just found out today that yesterday Doug Jensen got sentenced to 5 years in prison. He was one of the insurrectionists on January 6th who was chasing after Officer Goodman. Officer Goodman had to run away from Doug Jensen to run into safety. And so he got 5 years, sentenced 5 years in prison. Blow the Whistle by Too Short. That was one of Darlena's favorite songs, Blow the Whistle. Too Short just had a street named after him in Oakland. Oakland decided to name a street after him, and I believe that is very well deserved, simply because he wrote the song Blow the Whistle that Darlena loved to dance to. So I was glad to hear about that. For my TV viewing so far today, I've watched 48 Hours, season 36, episode 9. I have this app called Hulu. So what I try to do first is watch whatever's about to expire. So when I go to my stuff and I go to expired, I have 48 hours that's about to expire. So I'm trying to get them all out the way before they expire without me seeing it. But the episode I watched today was the case against Michael Polito, out of Hopewell, Missouri, Washington County. He was 14 years old and charged with unaliving his mother, but kind of find out he didn't do it, of course. But he was the only one in the house at the time. So, him and his friend that had spent the night were the only 2 in the house at the time. So they went after him. But I'm glad that he was finally exonerated and he's out free now. I then listened to a podcast called 10% Happier by Dan Harris. And this episode was talking about how to undermine the inner critic within you. First thing you can do is start by forgiving yourself. You are worth being forgiven. If you have the strength and the power to forgive anybody else outside of you, then you should start first by forgiving yourself. Now, I know it was difficult for me because I've done a lot of things that I need forgiven for. And I've done a lot of things I need to forgive myself for. So I won't walk around thinking I'm such a horrible person. I can't believe I did that. I can't believe I said that. I can't believe I went over there. Can't believe I listened to this or looked at that. I can't believe I allowed myself to get in this situation. But I'm having enough grace and mercy and kindness to forgive myself. Bring kindness to yourself. If you have the ability to be kind to other people, Start with being kind to yourself first. You deserve that. Do something for you that makes you feel good, feel great. Be kind to yourself. I do that with my Give, Save, and Live program. I believe those are three things I believe in. I believe in giving, I believe in saving, and I believe in living. The most thing I believe in is God, but under that I believe in give, save. So if I'm gonna give someone something, I'm gonna give myself something too. I'm gonna give somebody $10, then hey, I'm gonna give myself $10. What, Frida, what we gonna do with this $10? We're gonna figure something out that's gonna make us smile. Even if it's just buying a $10 lottery ticket or scratch off or something. I'm gonna give myself something. If I have $10 to give you, I'm gonna make sure I have $10 to give me first. And then I'm gonna make sure I have $10 to put in my savings. If not, then I ain't got it. So I ain't got it. But I have to be able to give me first, like before I'm able to give me to you or anybody else. And another thing I got out of this podcast is work on calling people in instead of calling people out. You know, I've heard that a lot throughout my life. I'm gonna call her out. She was just wrong. Why did she do that? Why did he do that? I'm calling them out. I'm gonna call them out. Okay, go ahead. That's what makes you feel better. Go ahead. But I think you would get more out of it if you call people in. It takes a whole lot of angry energy, in my opinion, to start going around just calling people out. And a lot of people do it behind their screen on social media. That's fine. On DMs, that's fine. I get it. Most of the time, my response is God bless you, and I move on. But work on calling people in. If you feel somebody has done something wrong, think about the times when you have done something wrong. I know I've done things wrong a lot of times. So when I feel somebody has done something wrong to me, I try my best to treat them how I would want to be treated if I was that person who did something wrong. So call that person in. Text them or call them. Or I remember when I was employed with my former employer, and I had the privilege to have a position of a sergeant, which gave me the privilege to have wonderful officers up under me. And trust me when I say this, every single officer and corp I had up under me was way more smarter, talented, and way more capable than I was as a sergeant. So I feel grateful and blessed and honored to be able to have a supervisory position over people who could do way better and go way farther in that career field I was in than I could. But I remember whenever I had an issue with someone, now it's the first time. Now if it goes on more than one time, then yes, we need to have a mass meeting about this in front of everybody to figure out what the hell is going on. But the first time, I wouldn't call them out on the street or whatever they've done something wrong. I would invite them into my office. And my very first question, I would always make sure my very first question would be, hey, are you okay? Is anything going on? Are you doing all right today? Is there anything concerning you? I always make sure I get that out the way first. Because once I find out everything is okay, all is well, there's nothing bothering, then I'm going to say, okay, what the hell is that foolishness you just did out there? Then I go into, calling them in. After I get that out the way, then I never end it. And you can ask any of my former officers if they happen to see this video or whatnot. They will verify this. I never ended it without thanking them and telling them what I love so much about them, what they're great at. I start by making sure they're okay. Then I call them in. It's just me and them. I'm not calling them out in front of other people. Even though the incident may have happened in front of everybody, I'm calling them in to a safe place. And it's just me and them having a conversation. And unfortunately, in my position, I have to be stern so they would take me seriously. And I'll be like, okay, what's going on? Why did such and such happen? Why did you do this and this? And then once we get a clear understanding about that situation and making sure it will never, ever, ever happen again. And I say, you know what? Besides that, you are a great officer. I thank God you're on my shift. Thank God that you chose to be on this shift, and you're a great officer. I love the way you handle calls or traffic or anything like that. And I think that works so much better than doing what I have personally seen other supervisors do. I'm not saying I'm better than anybody else or anybody else is better than me. I just feel like the way I do it is what works best for me. And you can supervise what works best for you. Y'all like my Rise Up hat, the Falcons. It's been a couple of times I've worked, but you know what? The Saints will be at the Falcons house tomorrow. The Falcons will rise up. The Falcons will win. Okay, Saints? Saints, you have to agree with me on this, okay? The Saints, the Aints, and anybody else that's coming to Atlanta to see the Atlanta Falcons whoop up on those Hudo boys. Or who that is. Yeah. Whatever y'all call it. I listened to a wonderful song today that I have in rotation that I've been listening to. It's called Laugh and Move On by the Baylor Project. Gene and Marcus Baylor. Beautiful song. Put me in a great mood. Laugh and move on. Holding on to something bad won't make it better. If it's bad for you, if it's bad to you, if it's bad with you, holding on to it is not going to make it any better. If you're in a bad relationship, holding on to that bad relationship is not going to make it any better. If you have bad food in your house, keeping that bad food around is not going to make your better nutritional decisions any better. Okay? So anything bad that you have around, if you keep a bad apple, in the same case with other good apples, keeping that bad apple is not going to make those other good apples any better. It's going to make it worse. They're going to all become bad apples. So holding on to something bad, is it going to make anything better? Okay, so consider that. Consider getting rid of whatever's bad in your life so you can move on to better. Okay? Have you been bad? Have you been good? Are you getting a lump of coal for Christmas? What do you want for Christmas? I don't know what I want. I want wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Joy, love, and peace. That would be nice. For my affirmation for today is, I will not give anybody the authority to make me have a bad day. I will not give anybody the authority to make me have a bad day. I will not give anybody the authority to make me have a bad day. You cannot allow anybody outside of you to determine how your day is going to be. They are not more powerful than you are. You're giving them way too much power. If you're around here mad and thinking about somebody all day in an unhealthy way, that's not good. You're giving them way too much authority. Allow you to determine how your day is going to be. Okay? I'm going to read Romans 10:9. That is, thou shalt confess with thy mouth the Lord Jesus Christ, and shalt believe in thine heart that God hath raised him from the dead, thou shalt be saved. Romans 10:9. Keep that in mind. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. May the Lord watch